Gaming is dead. Now, I've been at this gaming shit for quite some time. I'm 25 years old now, and the first game that I ever played was James Bond's GoldenEye, released in 1997. Damn, I'm old. At this point, I basically played since the beginning of Halo, the beginning of Call of Duty, the beginning of Grand Theft Auto, and I have seen a lot in my time. Now, the general consensus that I'm seeing is that 2015 to 2017, maybe even 2018 was about the peak of gaming. For me personally, I think about 2015 to 2017 was the absolute peak of gaming. We had Counter-Strike doing the gambling, that whole entire scene, then every bit of it was complete shambles and insane. We had Black Ops 3 released, we had H1Z1. Hell, we even had Fortnite and PUBG coming out, and even though I've always been an avid hater of Fortnite and PUBG, PUBG was a innovative game that actually brought a shit ton to the table. It actually made you feel like you were in a real-world scenario trying to survive in a battle royale. It brought realism that no other game had ever brought to the table. Also, in early 2017, we had Fortnite coming out, and even though I really did not enjoy Fortnite, I had a shit ton of time played in it because they did something that nobody had ever done. They brought a ton of new mechanics to a video game that had never been seen before. They had building and all that good shit. Not to mention, while it wasn't there on release, they did come out with crossplay, which had also never been seen before, where you could play with console and PC in the same lobby. Now, 2015 is when battle royales were basically born, and what would be a cam video without H1Z1 getting their mention? Now, I know DayZ really started the whole thing. There's always those kids that are like, DayZ started it, not H1Z1. But H1Z1 popularized the battle royale. It made the battle royales. It was the first step in battle royales to what PUBG and Fortnite and Warzone and everything else would become. H1Z1 quite literally started the BR genre and started the BR hype in 2015. Now, unfortunately, as we all know, it would go on to die. Then we would go on to have PUBG, Fortnite, and later on Warzone, which have all been fun in their own way. The main issue that I think they have all had is that it has become too much of a money thing. Obviously, no game can carry on without money being involved and without money flowing in for marketing and, game development, everything else, paying their employees. But the problem that has persisted in gaming nowadays is that you do not have to create a game to become a multimillionaire. You have to hype up a game, create a hyped up trailer, show a little bit of gameplay, advertise it to the masses, and then drop it to them barely finished. I can't count how many times there have been indie developers that have came out with, they just came out of the shadows, never been heard of before, and they show an amazing looking game. And sometimes they even, come out with an amazing game. But the problem is that they'll overcharge for what that game is, or, not make it free to play, not take the steps to make it free to play, and they will end up killing their game. We've become accustomed as a population to free to play games and not having to pay for a video game anymore. And that works really well if the game succeeds. But most of these developers know that their game will not succeed, so they come out with it at a high price rate to get as much money as they possibly can for their shit game, and then they drop off the face of the planet. Another thing that I want to touch on that has killed gaming, and if you disagree with me, then by all means go ahead and go disagree with me in the comments, but I think that skill-based matchmaking has killed video games. Back in the day, you would get put into a lobby that could be the most amazing, insane players on the face of the planet, or they could be the most shitty players on the planet, and then there was always that RNG. You might get into a COD lobby and go 30-5, and then you might go into the next lobby and go 5-30. And that made the game a lot more rewarding than having to go into a sweaty lobby every single time if you're a good player. Now, I know this system works very well for shitters because they get put into shitty lobbies and it makes them think that they are good. Therefore, they keep playing the game, therefore keeping the game popular, and that is what the devs want. They want you to continue playing the game, so they don't want you to get shit on, so they put you in lobbies with shitty players, and that is why the skill-based matchmaking persists in every video game now. Back in the day, if you wanted to play players at your same level, you played ranked play or arena or whatever the shit you want to call it, and if you went into a pub, it was supposed to be a mix of everybody. Another thing that's killing our good friend Halo Infinite is taking so much time to develop games. I fully believe that Halo Infinite could have been one of the best Halos of all time if they would have came out with everything at one time, but they are giving us like time spans of up to 2 years since release just to get like certain game modes, get Forge, get a battle royale that they're supposedly coming out with, all this stuff. Like if they would have came out with that at all at once, they would have done amazing. They would have changed Halo for like years to come. But once again, we're back to the developers coming out with a half-ass game and then adding DLC and adding, game modes later on and adding stuff that should be in the game from the start. But I also feel like they are forced to push out a game as fast as possible, or people, they lose their hype and people get, stagnant on the whole idea of it and they don't care anymore and they forget about it and then they don't make as much money. And it's just a constant loop of you can't do everything to please everybody. Another one is cheaters that have really ruined gaming. I know there are cheaters within every game and you can't can't stop everybody, and no matter what they do, I feel like the actual cheating softwares have outpaced the anti-cheat softwares, and no matter what, you know, happens, the cheaters can always win. And I just think gaming as a whole is at a stagnant point right now. There's not really any kind of new game-breaking ideas. You know, any kind of game that's came out, it shook the industry. It's had to be a whole totally new idea, like Battle Royales was, but we've done Battle Royales for almost 7 years now, and still most companies are pushing towards Battle Royales because it's still the popular thing right now. And don't get me wrong, I love a good Battle Royale, but I would also like to see a game that actually, you know, came out and stood out as something completely innovative and new, but I have no idea what that could possibly be. It is nice to see, though, this year that Treyarch is taking 2 years to develop Call of Duty, so maybe we'll get a good Call of Duty. I haven't actually purchased a Call of Duty since Cold War, I guess. I bought Cold War, but I haven't bought any since then. And I've always been a massive COD kid. I was a COD kid before anything else other than, like, Halo. I started playing Halo as my first, like, shooter, I guess. But even Call of Duty has been the most stale, stagnant, boring-ass games ever since they went back to boots on the ground. The last good Call of Duty, in my opinion, was Black Ops 4. Funny how it's Treyarch. But I could go on a rant like this for quite some time. I just kind of wanted to make this video because I see people on Twitter all the time talking about how gaming is dead and gaming is boring and every game is awful and every game is trash and nobody wants to play anything. And me personally, I hardly get to play anything because I work all the time now because, you know, my YouTube and Twitch died and all that good shit. So I build houses now all the time, but I still like to get on here and play when I can and make a few videos when I can. I still enjoy, you know, doing commentaries and talking over gameplays and all that good stuff. And I still upload, you know, whenever I get the chance to. But hopefully you guys enjoyed my little rant video and this step back into time with all these random clips from all throughout my years of playing video games. Go drop a sub, you know, if you want to. Leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.